good performance, good win. What are your reactions to what happened today?
Yeah, it's great the way I started. I couldn't have asked really for more. I had a chance to break in every single game in that first set. And then I continued to play solid after that. So all in all, a very good performance, especially in an important moment for me.
You had that backhand winner. I mean, what was going through your mind at that point when you knew you had won?
Happiness and relief at the same time. Both, a mix of both.
How long are you going to celebrate this before it when
Not at all. I have a flight in a few hours. Actually, the funny thing is, every single time I've won the tournament, it's because I had a flight in a few hours after. And I've never won when I flew the next day, so maybe I'm gonna start booking flights right away after.
Milos, it's been a little bit more than a year since you and Ivan started working together. This is the biggest title that you've won in that time. Do you see this title as the end of your first year or the beginning of your second year?
End of the first. It's a weird way to put it because it was really the only because when we really started French and Wimbledon, we couldn't really talk too much about anything. It was just about, okay, let's get you playing your tennis. And then the only really time we had to spend about stuff was he came a week before this event to Toronto, and we sort of, but even then I was still mostly focused on fitness. So this was where it sort of started all of it, and even the biggest changes we made wasn't until in December.
You have such high expectations for yourself and seem so focused. You let out a lot of emotion, or for you, a lot of emotion when you won this title. Do you ever let yourself enjoy this, or is it just automatically on to the next thing for you?
I should, but I'm just.
Down in front.
I'm just sometimes I can tend to get caught up in what the next goal is, the bigger goal, and that's about not losing too much energy this week, being as best as I can tennis-wise and physical-wise and mentally for next week.
As dominant as you were through this tournament, you never dropped in a set. How much confidence does that give you going into the rest of the hard court swing?
It gives me a lot of confidence, a lot of understanding, and I've always said hard courts is by far my favorite, and having done as well as I did on clay and grass, it got me really excited about this, and for that to be showing right away in the first week was great. But at the same time, I can't expect to start next week on whenever I think I play Wednesday. I can't expect to start like I finished here. I got to start from zero. It's a new week, a new tournament, and I got to go back to basics.
But not losing a set, what kind of statement does that make about where you think your game is?
Yeah, I think I'm playing at a high level. I think the number I have beside my name is not a coincidence, and I don't think it would be a coincidence if that were to grow or get smaller. Actually, get lower that number.
Milos, I know once you get out there, it's all business. But whether last night or even this morning, can you think about the history that you guys are making today?
Yes and no. I felt a lot of, let's say, maybe pressure and a little bit more maybe to lose because of the situation. So I tried not to think about it as much as possible, and I was happy with the way I dealt with it as soon as the match started.
How does this sort of rank for you in terms of things you've done in your career? Is it your biggest title?
It's my biggest title.
But what, in terms of other non-title accomplishments, you know, your ranking, your...
Third or fourth.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would say up there.
What's the biggest so far?
Wimbledon. Wimbledon. I'd say Montreal. And then it's a toss-up between Davis Cup and French Open.
So this is the best possible result you could get here. Will you be back?
I hope to, yes. And it's definitely in my schedule for next year.
In terms of how is this win different than the San Jose wins in Chennai and Bangkok?
This win's different in the sense now I go into every tournament for the last few weeks, maybe even months, believing I can win each tournament. Whereas 2012, 2011, 2013, it sort of had to be the right tournament for me. Now I believe I can give myself a chance to win any and every tournament.
Off the court, what are you most looking forward to about getting back to Toronto?
familiarity and the atmosphere that's going to come with it. But it's going to be as probably as rowdy and crazy of a week it will end up being for me. It'll probably be one of the more quiet weeks as well at the same time.
Will there be more family around?
Yeah. I don't know if my sister could make it with my niece and nephew, but the rest of my family's there.
Yeah, I know you didn't really think about it a lot going in, but afterwards, seeing all those Canadian flags in the stands, I mean, how special is that to you to have that kind of support in the U.S. capital?
It's great. It's not just here. It's with myself doing as well as I have with Jeannie and with Vashik and Dana and many more. It's something that kind of atmosphere has been more consistently following us around the world. So that's a great thing, and it's nice to see that. It's funny because they joked about it during the announcement, but not many people knew there were this many Canadians in Washington. So it's actually a constant thing that you can say about pretty much every tournament we're playing in now.
So, can you tell me how many, like over the hardcourt season, how many pairs of shoes will you go through?
I went through 5 this week,
What do you buy?
so I guess that can all depend on many things. How many matches I play.
Milos, it seems like you feel you've reached a new height in your career. What is your ultimate goal now?
Ultimate, become the best player in the world.
You're serving at an incredibly high rate. Do you think your serve can become even more efficient and more consistent than what it is now? Because a lot of players saying it's the best in the game.
Yes, I think obviously the margins look a lot smaller, but I think it still has a lot of significantly can improve a lot more. Not just what I do with the serve, but the way I back the serve up.
Any other questions?
Milos, just going back to a point you stressed a week ago before the tournament started, talking about using Wimbledon semifinal defeat as motivation. You're hungry, wanted to do better. Is this the result you were wanting, but is this sort of the tone you wanted to set through the following that?
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't have done it in a better way. Sort of taking that anger, that disappointment that I led with myself during my whole break, and it was hard for me. Even my friends, when I'd be on vacation, would ask me about it, or somebody else would come up and say congratulations about Wimbledon, and that still had a certain pain to it and a certain discomfort. So to sort of change things around, it's good, but there's still sort of a fire in me because of that, the way I played that semifinal. That sort of, it's been keeping me going.
This is a little bit of a lighter question. Earlier in the week, some of my front row colleagues here asked Tomas Berdych about the relationship between his on-court persona and his Twitter persona. I don't know if you follow Tomas on Twitter, but he, like you, is very businesslike and very sort of serious and disciplined on court, and he's a real character on Twitter. What do you see as how does social media play a role in your sort of fan outreach and that kind of thing?
Social media is a double-ended sword. It can hurt you or it can make you. In a lot of ways, obviously, results are the most important things, especially as a tennis player, but in a lot of professions, it can hurt you or it can make you. There's a lot of things, I would say, that come to my mind. I can say them in press, I can say them over social media, but a lot of things that can be misunderstood if you're not face-to-face with somebody. So it's a nice way. I never talk about tennis on it, really. I don't think I've ever posted a numbers result. I think I've posted more emotional stuff, how I feel about something, or stuff that's completely random. So I've kept it for who I am away from tennis, or the way tennis affects me, not what I'm doing in tennis.
Last questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.